I'm here. First, I'd like to start off with a statement, then I got a couple questions, if I may. First of all, you were talking about the tax bill. The tax bill, the way I see it, I'm just a middle-class, normal American, and I figured out probably next year, from what I got this year, I may get a $500 tax break. Most people, probably in my situation, or poor, or even upper middle class, probably are going to get within that range, a few $100s, maybe $1,000 or so. The people at the top, approximately 83% of the top 1%, the corporations as well, are going to walk away with trillions, if not trillions, billions of dollars of savings, especially our fearless leader who has over 500 LLCs, because of the way the tax code was written now, is going to walk away with a bunch, a real bunch. What this is going to do is going to actually already, it's doubled, if not close to tripled, our deficit. And then it probably, in the next 10 years at least, if things aren't changed, we're going to be getting over $30 trillion of debt, if not 40, because of this tax bill. The whole problem I see, and I hope it doesn't occur, is they're going to say, hey, things are going to have to change. We've got to do something because of all this debt. And they're going to start taking the money from where? Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. And then who's going to end up getting everything from this whole thing? The rich and the powerful. All right, my main thing, just before President Trump came here a few weeks ago, I called your office when you were talking about call your office. And I asked, because I hadn't heard you say anything publicly about Trump's ridiculous, unbelievable problem of trying to correct immigration by tearing kids away from their parents when they come here for asylum. I said, are you going to address this when he comes here personally with you and you're there? They said they didn't know, and I still haven't heard a word. But my question beyond that is, what about yesterday, what happened in Helsinki? Can you at least come up with some coherent reasons why this president did what he did yesterday? Thank you.
All right, Stan, and again, thank you very much for the question, and thanks for keeping it very clear. We know where you stand, and again, I don't screen my callers. So we take Republicans, we take Democrats, and we take independents so that this kind of conversation can happen. Stan and I don't agree. We certainly don't agree 100% of the time. I don't agree with the president 100% of the time. I don't agree with the governor 100% of the time. I don't agree with my wife 100% of the time. The only difference between my wife and everybody else is she's always right. But having said that, Stan, you did your analysis. If you have children, there's child tax credits that are there. There are other credits that are involved in it. I kept in the ITC and the production tax credits for those who want to go solar. The analysis by CBO was that the average family in the state of Nevada, which, by the way, I think statistically was the second largest reduction in costs in expenses of any other state in the country. So Nevada benefited. Let me share a bigger picture here. Yes, our deficits are going up a little bit. They're not going up a lot, but they are going up more. And when you're at $21 trillion, we have a major problem. So the question is, and I think Stan's question is, what are we going to do about this debt? I think you went all the way around the question, but the question is, what are you going to do about this debt? I was in the Treasury Secretary's office, and he was very clear, as others have been, even the budget director, talking to them. What are we going to do? Because I think this deficit, this budget deficit we have is the biggest problem we have in this country today. And they all come up with the same answer, and I don't disagree with them. And the answer is this. You're not going to be able to tax your way out of this $21 trillion deficit, and you're not going to be able to cut enough programs to get yourself out of this $21 trillion debt. What you have to do is you have to grow the economy. And that's the difference. That's the difference between this administration and the previous administration. And that is, instead of seeing 2% growth, we're seeing 4% growth. So yes, short term, we're going to see an increase in our deficit.